Molly is very, very sweet, very kind.
Molly's pretty active. She plays soccer and tennis and volleyball, and then she swims in the summer.
Molly is the most friendly, positive, outgoing person that I know, I think. She is always upbeat and has never let diabetes really get her down.
I was always lazy and weak, and I didn't feel like I had the energy to do things. I was very tired. I was at my friend's house, and I just kept on falling asleep, and they didn't know it was happening, so they called my mom.
Now, in retrospect, she had all the classic symptoms, but of course, at the time, we didn't realize that. But it was, she was having to use the bathroom all the time and asking for a drink constantly, and she had lost about 5 pounds, and for a 4-year-old, that's a pretty significant amount of weight.
When she was diagnosed, I just remember going to the hospital to see her, and she looked really thin.
It was just kind of came out of the blue, and it was a new learning experience for all of us.
I was kind of nervous about being in the hospital and about how my life would change from that day and on.
We had to be a lot more careful because she was really young, so we had to watch what she ate and test her blood sugar all the time because she didn't know at first when she was low or high.
Everyone is forgetful and stuff, and so if she forgets what she ate or something, I like to remind her to make sure that she gets enough of a shot for what she needs and what she has eaten, because if she doesn't, then that could be bad, so I like to keep that straight.
We had to train all the teachers and let them know what was going on so that if she was low and not in her classroom, they didn't send her back to her classroom by herself to test.
I remember too when Molly was first diagnosed, we all had to test our blood so we would know what it felt like to get the finger prick.
One of the other grandchildren had a birthday party, and I turned to Molly and said, "Would you like some cake and ice cream?" And she looked at me and said, "Duh, diabetes."
That became really just a terrific event, and really has made a huge difference in the amount of money that we've been able to raise. The Cook family just has a very long history of supporting people who need help. When Molly had this need, knowing that as we started to walk down here, that I could go to the Cook Foundation and ask for a decent sized gift, and the support has been terrific. To me, it's that history. It's not just a flash, flavor of the month kind of thing, that this is how the Cook family is.
It seems like we're close to making some breakthroughs on reaching a cure, and that's really why we've tried to help here, to maybe help get it over the top.
Will, as a little boy, was very intelligent. I guess the quintessential nerd, glasses, very bookish, not at all athletic. Spent a lot of time in the library.
Very loving, caring, giving. Liked to make me happy, liked to make the kids happy. Very patient.
Intelligence is one of those things that definitely is on the frontal lobe when you think about Will Cook. You think about how intelligent he was. I remember he was valedictorian at his high school in 1979 when he graduated.
A National Merit Scholar and named a Notre Dame Scholar. The diagnosis came when he was at Notre Dame. I remember that he called me and said he didn't feel well. He felt feverish, he felt tired and listless. And so I said, "Why don't you come home for the weekend?" And I remember when he walked in the door, how awful he looked. He had lost so much weight and he was dehydrated. He just looked awful. And so the next day we had him admitted to the local hospital. And then, the blood sugar was extremely high.
Will would not allow the disease to change his life. In fact, he took a very stern attitude about it, that it was not going to slow him down.
Well, he was very concerned about his children, and he had them tested at birth.
If any of the kids started being thirstier than normal and started drinking a lot of water or having any other signs, he would grab them in the morning, first thing in the morning, prick their finger and check their blood sugar.
He loved it because he loved designing and dreaming like his dad. Will was a visionary. He could envision things very quickly, dream of rides, dream of where they could go, building them. My husband, Will's father, always had some blueprint, some plan, something going, and Will was much the same way. Oh, he loved the pump and understood it immediately.
It made a big difference in his life. He was so excited. He'd show it off to me, show me the number. Look at the numbers, right on.
and I was so delighted. I felt such like a relief that now there was something to warn him, because he had had several highs and lows, mostly the lows, of course, that caused Will to pass out, sometimes to have a seizure. And that was very horrible and very embarrassing, very difficult for him and for us. And so, we were hoping this was the answer for him.
But his kind heart that he had at an 8-year-old was the same kind heart that he had at his passing at age 48.
He had so much more to contribute, so much more to do. Children to raise, songs to sing, songs to play, rides to build, dreams to dream. And that was all wiped out because of diabetes. And I, as a mother, lost my firstborn. I was very angry at diabetes for a very long time.
His touch. His arm around me. His I love you.
Hopefully God will grant me a long life, unlike Will's, who was terribly shortened by diabetes. And the thought of me having to undergo the remainder of my life without being able to speak or enjoy time with Will motivates me personally, and I hope many, many others, to find the cure for diabetes.
A cure for diabetes means to me that I won't have to deal with testing my blood and doing shots. I can just not worry about it, and I can just do stuff that everybody else does and just be normal for a day.
When I go get a physical, or I have to get a shot every once in a while, and how much as a 30-something-year-old guy that I freak out when I see that needle, and then think that she's doing it, and I hear her say, based on the number of times she does it every day, that it's about 2,000 times a year that she sticks a needle into herself. And I think people should give real thought to giving at a level that hurts like that.
Usually on most of her list, that is a birthday list, or when you say, oh, whatever you want today, let's go do it and we'll get what you want. You can't get what I want, Grandma. And I said, what's that? And she said, a cure for diabetes. And it just breaks your heart when you hear her say that. And so I would like to see her be able to lead a healthy, active life and do whatever she wants to do.